And good morning. As you're waking up, you hear the sound of thunder. We hear the sound of rain in the background. We have thunderstorm warnings. Let's go to radar this morning to get you updated of where we are. This is Meridian Honda radar as we zoom in on this. Now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, and let's look at what we've got here with the National Weather Service is telling us. This is going to go for another hour. And they issued this quite some time ago. It's been slowly making its way out of Newton County. Neshoba's been affected by it. As of right now, Newton County, Kemper County, and northern Lauderdale County under a severe thunderstorm warning this morning. Again, this is going to be until 7:15 as we watch this. As we look at this, it'll be near Daleville around 6:20. Should be arriving there now. Marion around 6:25, and Lauderdale around 6:30. Toomsuba on there in that area around 6:35 is what the National Weather Service is telling us. All right, let's move in now and look at some of these storm lines is what we're showing here. Downtown Decatur, if you're watching from Decatur this morning, we've got a lot of rain coming in right here. If y'all can hear, they're rattling the walls here. This will be at Good Hope within 11 minutes. We'll make it to Duffy in 20 minutes as it makes its way into Lauderdale County from directly over East Central Community College this morning is where we are on this as it comes this way. All right, as we come back across here, let me do a refresh on that. That's wanting to act a little strange there, and let me get that updated and see if I can make that work a little bit better. It's got an issue or two there that we're working on. Basically, where we are, Decatur, these storms here, and that's going to move directly from the Decatur area east to there toward downtown Meridian, as you'll see that. That's where we're headed, downtown Meridian. Y'all be careful as this comes about. Now, this at this point, I-20 is all clear. This is going to be mostly our two-lane roads. Now, 19 has a pretty good storm going on out in the Collinsville area as we move in to take a look at this. Over Oak Tibby this morning, we got some serious rain going on right there. This will be making its way near Obadiah, Bailey, Marion within 20 minutes if you're in that area, and then crossing over to Highway 45, this Tompton area as it crosses 45 on toward Toomsuba later. Now, we're going to have several rounds of this kind of weather today as we look at the National Weather Service. We'll get into the breakdown here in just a little while as we get into the forecast. But severe weather again forecasted for today, tomorrow, and now they've extended this into Saturday. So this stuff is not ending. We're going to be wet and we're going to be tired of storms. This has been one of the busiest weeks in June that I've seen. As we all know, we were together, around midnight last night. All right, Center Hill, pea-size hail is what we're hearing here this morning. Also, I got a note from Al just a moment ago. Let me go back here and take a look here. We had hail in the Martin area. Marble-size hail is what he was reporting there in the Martin area this morning. So be cautious. We don't want you to. That lightning's rough outside this morning. A lot of it there. Now, as we look back out here to our west, Atala County moving into Leake County, another hailstorm moving in there. Will this affect the eastern side of Mississippi? Most likely. We'll see this a little bit later on today as we watch these storms come across. As we move up here in Philadelphia, it's going to be northern. It's going to be Highway 15 north of there going toward Noxapater in between there. That's a rough little ride there. Burnside Park, you're going to be getting wet this morning. As we go east and go out through the Preston-Linville area, a lot of rain there also today. North of DeKalb, Highway 39. I hadn't made it into Noxubee County. Scoop's got light rain right now, but you go that 11 miles due west of there to DeKalb as you go up Sickanotchee Hill and you get into the east side area there where East Side Grocery was. Rain begins and cuts all the way across past 397, all the way out here to 495, 493 right there. There's the airport. There's a lot of rain in that area as we go south into Kemper County, where we do find this severe thunderstorm warning issued. This southern portion, not much into Kemper County, but it's there. Be aware of this as we still have Newton County involved in this. And now Lauderdale in the West Lauderdale area, and this is going to put it right out there at the Piggly Wiggly, the Martin area, getting the most of what's going on in the county this morning. And this is going to cut right across. Here's the reservoir, and it's going to cut right across Marion, this direction toward Tomb Suba the next little bit. As a matter of fact, both of these storms that are coming out of the western side, the West Lauderdale area, headed toward the Tomb Suba area. And this will cut across the northeast area, Northeast High School, across Highway 39 and Highway 45, those areas. Cotton Gin, you're going to get wet here in the next little bit. Be cautious, be careful. It is a part of what's going on. We sure hate it, but storms waking us up this morning as we head throughout the nighttime hours. There, lightning strikes starting to show up here. This happened 5 minutes ago, 6:19, right here by. On Church Road, we had a strike at 6:14, right along in there. And as we get here on the eastern side of the reservoir, we've had some strikes there. On the west side, we did have a strike there at 6:19. On the north end of the lake, another strike there. So a bunch in the Oak Tibby area. Now, downtown Meridian, it's kind of light at the moment. Not a lot going on with that at the moment, but we'll watch it. It is heavy activity as you go down 22nd Avenue and you get into where the hospitals are and all of that area there. We do have some heavier rain this morning, but by far the worst we have is West Lauderdale area there. As we've got two storm tracks moving across Tomb Suba, pretty heavy rain as we get up near Lauderdale, and you get just across the railroad tracks there on York Road. You're going to have a little bit of rain there also. Brooke is telling us we've got hailing there at Little Rock. That was at 6 a.m., about quarter size. Pretty serious, wasn't it? Elmer, good morning there. Pleasant Grove and Little Rock just had lots of nickel-size hail, Pam says. Heavy rain and lightning. It passed over for now. Lamar, good morning. Good to see you as well. Lawanda's up. Very heavy rain last night. Flooded about 2:30 this morning. We did have several after that initial severe thunderstorm warning went across. We had horrific rains as this would keep going into the nighttime hours. Beverly says pea-size hail there in Center Hill as we glance up at all the different remarks that we're getting of what's going on today. It just seems as though the storms are not going to end as we have more and more and more. We'll get back on this as we watch all this carefully this morning. Now, east of Decatur, getting better. Right around where the sheriff's office is, we got a lot of rain there. York, Alabama, you're getting your share of this. Now, y'all don't have any warnings yet. Again, but they've put this at an hour long. It was way over an hour when this was issued for Lauderdale County. They started firing off back here in this area here in Atala County and took in this portion, and then they've done this just a few moments ago. Moved it over just a little bit, and I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but that was loud. And it just seems to keep going and going and going there. All right, we are up to date with the latest on radar images. And again, all of this yellow area, let's be clear of what all of this is. This is going to be these aerial flood watch. Anything in yellow has that. Now, as we get into this area on the Alabama side, they have a tornado watch out this morning until 3 p.m. Now, could the Mississippi side get that? They sure could. It's not here now, but we do have it on the Alabama side. I want to show this as we look at the big radar. All of this area from Destin down to Panama City back to Mobile, straight up Choctaw County, these areas here under a tornado watch until 3 p.m. this afternoon. I want to make sure I got that right. 3 o'clock this afternoon, 3 p.m. We have the... Boy, if they're expecting it there, what's going to happen as it comes across? Picking up sheer winds now back here as it gets ready to enter a leak. Again, this is Atala County as we look at this. 58-mile-an-hour sheer winds as we glance back over here. Pickens, Mississippi, right there. Ridgeland, Madison, to give you a good look of where we are. The Carthage area, these storms are going to be moving toward you over the next little bit. Goodman, Mississippi, all of that. Yazoo City. All right, let's go back over to Lauderdale County as we glance at this. These two storm systems still making their way toward just north Meridian toward the Marion area. If you're going to be riding this morning, expect it to be a bumpy ride as we get all of this done this morning. Again, southern Kemper County, after you leave the Ralph Morgan Rodeo, that's going to put you right at the Lauderdale County line on top of that hill, and that will rain to about 2 Mile Bottom. As you get up through the rest of the Scooby area, this is slowly making its way from DeKalb. We haven't quite made it to the roadside park yet. We're close to that, where the East Mississippi Sportsman Association is. It's getting closer towards Scooby, and expect that rain there in the next little bit. This is some tough rain. As y'all hear that in the background, it is definitely rattling our windows in the studio this morning as you're waking up. Thunderstorm warnings again until 7:15 for Lauderdale, Kemper, and Newton counties. We'll watch this closely this morning as we all begin this. All right, we've got a complete look at the forecast of what's coming, what it's all about here in just a second. Right now, let's head out to Collinsville to get this morning started. Go to the church. Let's go to First Baptist and find out what they've got to say this morning.
The Collinsville First Baptist Church Keepers of the Kingdom Vacation Bible School begins Monday, June 26 at 8:30 a.m. We would love for your children to join us. Get more info and pre-register at our website.
Have you ever considered what it would be like to be rich? And I don't mean well off. I mean like Scrooge McDuck diving in a pool of gold coins rich. If you're honest with yourself, you probably struggle with that desire from time to time. I know I do. I mean, it's fun to imagine relaxing in your riches and indulging in the finest luxuries that the world has to offer. But when I stop and make myself really think about it, I find it so interesting that many of us are captivated by riches when Jesus warned us so sternly about the dangers of loving and desiring wealth. To be clear, the money isn't the problem. Our heart is. When the heart desires money, it tends not to desire God because wealth claims to offer the same things as God. Money gives an illusion of security, protection, provision, and an absence of fear. But the Bible makes it clear that these promises are always an illusion when they're not built upon the Lord Jesus. Concerning the love of wealth and possessions, Jesus himself said, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul?" James 5:1-6 offers a harsh description of the judgment that awaits the rich who reject Christ Jesus. James says to the wealthy, "Your riches have rotted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have corroded, and you lived in luxury and self-indulgence. And at the expense of others, you increased your portion. And all of this bears evidence against you, and it heaps up the miseries that are coming upon you in your judgment." When you consider all of this, it becomes clear that many times our hearts have a problem of desire because we value what we think has worth in the world we live in more than we value what Jesus says has great worth. Jesus tells us clearly, if you want wealth and riches and all of those things, then seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. If you do that, then all these other things that you desire will be added unto you. And you know when you'll receive them? You'll have them when you receive Christ's inheritance in eternity, when you enter into his kingdom. For in Christ's kingdom we are joint heirs with him and possessors of all things, far more wealth and prosperity than we could ever imagine. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Well, as we cut back to more weather, we just had another severe thunderstorm warning added to the area as we go back to radar as we pull this up this morning. Leake County is now under severe thunderstorm warning, and also Scott County has been added to this. Now, we still have this severe thunderstorm warning that is back in Attala County right here, but this is moving in to the Carthage area. You know, I'll be careful this morning. This is making your way toward here. This will be at Carthage, moving across there within 26 minutes. If you'll see that, then Edinburgh, y'all will be next in line with this as it comes on across this morning. So we add two more counties to this morning as we still look. Lauderdale County, Newton County, and Kemper counties are under this until 7:15 this morning. Penelope, you're right. This is a very, very wet Thursday. And I glanced up with what you had to say there. Morning to all. I hope your day is going well. As we glance down, wet Thursday. That's what we're going to call it there. To Corey, good morning to you as well. We got a lot happening there. Richard, good morning. We'll check back with radar here in just a little bit with what all we have going on with it. And as we always do, we start checking a few headlines across America, what's happened in the last 24 hours. and I don't know this lady. I'm trying to, Carly Teft. You ever heard of her, Odie? She's supposed to be a country singer, and I paused there to make sure I was saying her name right.
I hadn't heard of her.
She must be new. I don't know, but she is saying that her concerts have been canceled. Why? Because she sang the national anthem at a Trump event a while back. And so her shows are getting canceled because she sang the national anthem somewhere.
I might have to support her.
Odie says he may like her music now. That's sad. It's just sad. Anita Baker, have you heard of that name?
Yeah.
All right, Anita Baker she's got rid of Babyface off her tour. I don't know Babyface. I've heard the name. I could not identify any of their songs, but she's gotten rid of him over what his fans were doing. Cyberbullying. I didn't realize your fans could get you canceled off a concert. She's took action. Babyface is not on the tour anymore. Pretty serious there. Ohio. I don't know how many times across America and how many television shows have been produced of the missing, the where were they, and you follow this of somebody that just disappeared. Ohio, we go 45 years ago, a lady has been identified. She came up missing. After 45 years, her family can now, so to speak, have peace at heart. Is that the word for it? I think so. Closure. That's sad. She just moved to the area and went missing immediately, and her family never heard from her again. It was a Jane Doe body that no one had any idea. She's been identified, thank heavens there. Florida, they're getting ready. It could happen today as we look at this. Murder back in 1984, and was also rape. Set to happen today in Florida. We'll keep you updated on this. Tallahassee, he's been on death row as one of Florida's longest. He's set to be executed for two separate killings in 84, two different ones there. Stabbed a 14-year-old babysitter as two children were in her care sleeping. He killed her with a hammer.
Shouldn't have took so long.
1984. Took a 14-year-old's life. It's set to happen with lethal injection, such a easy way out at 6 p.m. tonight. Again, 14 years old, lost her life.
He's got to have a pain pill before he gets a shot.
Yeah, got to have a pain pill before they give you the shot so it won't hurt. We also had a 38-year-old woman that was raped and killed by him. We wonder why crimes continue. There's just no punishment. Bothers me. It bothers me. Harvard University. Well, that's supposed to be the elite of the elite, where the smart people go. Well, they're so smart there, they have a mortuary science program. Students have been selling body parts on the side. Harvard. Y'all. It makes me scratch my head. We have a Colorado plastic surgeon this morning who's most likely going to get some jail time as he had a patient, an 18-year-old, getting a breast augmentation. Nurses said they needed to call 911 for help. He did not. It drug on and on and on. She's lost her life. He's being charged with the murder of that young lady. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. This is sad. This is just sad as we look at this as we go to Texas. Houston is where this is. How many times have we seen the police with their dog, their canine? Loyal. They take care of him. He was sitting in the car waiting on his trainer to come back. The air conditioner quit in the car. The pup died. They treat that as a fallen officer, don't they? Yeah. That would be bad. Now, JJ one time disappeared. Somehow or another got in one of our cars. We didn't know it. And he wasn't barking. Bless his heart, we found him in time. But pets, y'all watch this as this summer heat happens. Pets can be left in cars. They can slip. I've gotten out of a car, and JJ was good about that. I'd open the door to get out, and he'd run up. I didn't know he got in. I went in the house, and there's always something barking at you, and it was missing, and that's how I noticed him. Now, this goes far beyond pets as well. Y'all keep it in mind. Babies, we hear every year about babies being left in cars. We don't want that to happen. Let's cut back on that. Pay close attention to that responsibility that we all have. We don't need any loss of life because of heat and being left in a car. We'll be right back. We're going to get into what the National Weather Service tells us is going to happen with this forecast today.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
No matter how many times you try, and no matter where you call, Representative 81 Steve Horn won't answer the phone. We're not getting any representation in Jackson. District 81, we can do better. Vote Ben Shirley, August the 8th. Paid for by Ben Shirley.
If you're just joining us, just a quick recap before we break off into everything that the National Weather Service has to tell us. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings going on Scott County, also Carthage. These are going to be going on this morning. Let's move this back out where you can see this right here. This severe thunderstorm warning is until 8 o'clock. Lauderdale County now, Kemper County has been dropped from this. Lauderdale and Newton counties will have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. Heavy rain in eastern Newton County into northern Lauderdale County due across to York, Alabama, and Cuba, Alabama. Everything is north of I-20 at the moment as we watch this, and we'll keep you posted as what begins on all of that. Let's get into our breakdown of what to expect today and over the next 48 hours as we head toward the weekend.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The National Weather Service tells us 89 for a high today in Meridian as we get toward the Laurel-Hattiesburg. A little bit warmer, 91, 93. North of here, we'll get to 88 in Philadelphia and even cooler once you reach Noxapater. It's going to calm down as you move in toward Columbus Air Force Base and Starkville. 83 to 84 in those areas. Now, out to the west of us, Vicksburg, hot. 92 is what we're looking for in that area. Let's go east into Bama this morning and see what we've got here. Pretty much a steady line of 84 degrees throughout the area. Going to be some 5 degrees cooler in Alabama than it is in Mississippi this morning as we have cooling temperatures in those areas. Now, here's what we've got on tap for today. Severe thunderstorms possible. They're so possible, they're happening now, aren't they? We've got a level 2 for today that takes in Lauderdale County, moves in through Newton, and just will grab that southwest corner of Neshoba County. Barely there, about 2 miles into Neshoba County, grabbing Leake, southward to Hattiesburg, Wayne County, Clark County, back over to Vicksburg, and on into Louisiana will have this. Again, that's a level 2. What does that mean for you? Damaging wind gusts of up to 70 miles an hour. We've seen this quarter to golf ball size hails. Tornadoes cannot be ruled out again. They keep putting these words back. We've been fortunate so far. They were east of us last night. Mainly through this afternoon. Also, as they put in the probability, they may update this later, we could have some late tonight. But mainly through the afternoon, from now until late afternoon. We'll watch that and see as they update this. Usually around lunch, they'll get a good idea from the National Weather Service if they think this will continue. What's happening tomorrow? Oh, look, again, tornadoes cannot be ruled out tomorrow as the entire area of East Mississippi on up to the Mississippi Delta will be under a level 2. And we're looking at 70-mile-an-hour winds. Gust up to that, golf ball size hail, and again, key words being put in there that a tornado cannot be ruled out. Multiple rounds tomorrow. So it's not going to be we can say, oh, this is going to happen between 2 and 5. This is going to be on and off throughout the day tomorrow to end the week. Boy, this is just really making it bad for carpenters. Can't get anything done. Now, as we move into Saturday, it backs down just a little bit as we see that we move back down to a level 1 for Saturday. Marginal storms, damaging wind gusts, nothing big like we've got for today and tomorrow, but still a risk of severe weather. So if you've got an outside event, you're going to have to check it several times. Now, this is a couple days out. We'll redefine this as it gets closer. That's without a doubt. Now, I know we're having Lauderdale Day on Saturday. I know also in downtown Meridian, they're going to have Juneteenth Festival that was going to be outside. That's on Saturday as well, Saturday and Sunday. So we'll watch this to see what needs to happen, if anything needs to be moved. As we look at Alabama for today that's that line there. Demopolis South will be a level 2. North of Demopolis through Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, that level 1 today. Damaging winds of 60 miles an hour right through there. Now, as we look Friday, as you'll see as we put this up a minute ago for the Mississippi side, over to Demopolis, Tuscaloosa tomorrow, these areas will see that level 2. And then east over to Auburn, backing off to a level 1 for tomorrow. Chastity, good morning. I'm with you on that. I do pray that everybody is safe today. Flash flooding is what we've got through this morning. Look at all of this, and we're getting that. You're seeing it on radar right now, taking in Lauderdale, north of Quitman, Jasper County, Rose Hill area, on in here to all of Newton County, Philadelphia, as we get into portions of this southern portion. This is going to be right across here, just barely at Lake Teocata, coming across, catching the southern portion up to Sugarlock in Noxubee County, and then back west into the Yazoo area. That's elevated threat, 2.5 inches, 2 to 5 inches of rain. Heat stress as we get into this. Today, we have temperatures expected to be on the heat index side of about 97 degrees. That's warm, isn't it? It's what we've got on tap. As you get back toward Brookhaven, it's going to get worse up to 110. The Meridian area is still at 105 is what we're expecting into the weekend. Could change. We'll watch it closely. This is the outlook of what we've got. What is that to our west? Oh, look, more hot weather coming out of Texas for the great state of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Just not going to give us a break. If you're in the Carolinas today, a little bit better as we've got a little cool front moving through eastern Georgia up through the Carolinas there. As we look, our 7-day forecast brought to you by our friends over at Wilson. They let us know today is at 70% chance, high of 89. Tomorrow, not changing, but will drop about 2 degrees with still a 70% chance of those thunderstorms. And again, that's a level 2 for tomorrow. As we look at Saturday, a 40% chance as we do have activity Saturday and Sunday scheduled for Meridian. And both of these days, Saturday coming in less than Sunday. A 50% chance on Sunday. Will we get something from the National Weather Service here in a little bit warning us about Sunday? I wouldn't doubt it one bit. The week that we've had with weather. Now, as we get back to work on Monday, there's no difference. 50% chance of rain. Tuesday, 40% chance. Odie, we even got it up to next Wednesday.
That's terrible.
You're going to get to use that little frog suit you bought.
I think so.
Odie's got him a new outfit, y'all. I've been trying to get him to wear it to work in here. He didn't want to wear his dive suit. Let's see what else we've got. Let me go back here and what did I do there? For some reason, that just went away. We'll get that straightened out. What we do know, temperatures, let me glance at this as we gauge at this. Temperatures are going to jump to still steady all the way through June 29th. We're going to be in the 90s. It's kind of warm, isn't it? Now, we have nothing going on in the tropics today. That is what is good. We don't have any issues there today as we look at the tropics. Glancing on some other things that are happening around the state. Let's see what else we have here. Fishing times today. It looks like a major time today. If you can handle the rain, is going to be around 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock if you're going to be out on that today. So good luck if you're a fisherman that want to be out during all of that. Let's see, power. Let's check on power before we do anything else. I know there's a lot of people that want to know what's happening with the power this morning. Let me go over here and pull this up from EMEPA, see where we are with outages as we start this day. Now, we have roughly about 123 people right now without power. Let's pull this up where you can see it also. Here we are. This is the latest. We've got about 4 in the Meridian area. Let's zoom in on this. We've got about 4 there at Nellyburg on Highway 19 without power. And as we move up in here to Porterville area, east of there, right at the state line, about 19. A couple folks there in the Scuba area. And as we move west of here, south of DeKalb in Kemper County, we're going to put that at about 18. And then downtown DeKalb, got at least 50, 52 people without power there. As we move west of there, and we go out just to the west of Kemper Lake, we got some areas there west of 397, about 30 people without power. And then, of course, due across Highway 493 there on Highway 16. As we move up to the Preston area, about 1 there. Looks good in Knox, Pater, and Louisville. All is working in those areas this morning. Can't get any better than that. I know that y'all had some power outages in those areas also. Lawnmower will get a break, Donna says. It definitely is. The problem is when it gets fired back up, it's going to be so thick the lawnmower can't handle it. Yep. That's the truth. Steve wanted to hire y'all this morning. Let's see. Ashley says a substation gets knocked out every time the wind blows. Our lines are underground. I mentioned that in the early morning hours. Hopefully one day the technology and the price will drop to where people can afford to bury this nationwide. I know some cities are starting to move to it. It is expensive, but boy, on the rural route, y'all think of the man hours that would save. Now, the flip side to that is it takes away jobs, doesn't it? I know somebody was sitting there thinking that. Those guys that work on the power lines, they need to work. Yeah. But technology does keep evolving. And we need to talk about this on the morning show here in a little bit. That's going to kick off in about 10 minutes, and I'm going to calm down. Have y'all noticed banks disappearing? Rural towns. Y'all know where I'm talking about, the small towns to where the little bank that you've always gone to. So far, nationwide, as I was looking at statistics, over 10,000 banks have closed in the rural routes. Towns that probably have somewhere around 15,000 people and below, 5,000 people, 6,000, they're going away and making people use the online apps. It's saving them money. A brick and mortar building is what that's all about. Will it eventually get to where there's really no such thing? I'm a people person still.
Me too.
I like to look somebody in the eye and go down and bother Lisa at the bank.
Yep. With that personal touch.
Personal touch. Reminder that she's been out of high school 40 years. Tammy, I'm going to throw you in there as well. All my friends at the banks, y'all are sweet. Do appreciate y'all. We're getting ready for the morning show. Y'all don't rush off. Odie's coming in with us here. We'll be live here. We're going to turn it back on in 5 minutes and hit the morning show here directly. Y'all come back and join us. Thanks for being a part of this as we watch these thunderstorm warnings until 7:15. Kemper and Lauderdale County out to our west until 8 o'clock for Scott County, and also we've got it for Leake. We'll be back shortly.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: